Welcome back, listeners, and we are going to talk about episode 35 today. It's from the band Toto and their song Africa. The misheard song lyric is I left my brains down in Africa, which really the correct lyrics is I bless the rains down in Africa. So I always thought this misheard song lyric sounded like he was singing I left my brains down in Africa. And here's kind of my correlation. So I thought it was an homage to the scarecrow from the movie Wizard of Oz since he was missing a brain. Makes sense. And the band was named Toto. I'm assuming after Dorothy's cute dog. So it all made sense to a 9, 10 year old at the time. And I'm not the only one. So the song was recorded by American rock band Toto in 1981. Again, the song is called Africa, and it's their fourth studio album, Toto 4 is the name of the album, and actually was released as the album's third single on September 30th, 1982. Yes, so I was a mere 10, through Columbia Records. The song was written by band members, actually founding band members, David Paish. He was keyboards and vocals, and then Jeff Porcaro, keyboards. And they have garnered a cult following even till now with even young listeners that were born in some case decades after its 1982 debut. I mean, when I go to a karaoke bar, when someone sings it, it's like the hipsters go bonkers. So, who is Toto? Well, it again is an American band formed in 1971 in Los Angeles by two regulars on albums for Steely Dan, Seals and Croft, Boss Skaggs, Sonny and Cher, and Michael Jackson, name a few. So we worked with a lot of other bands before they created their own band, and they have contributed to many of the most popular records in the 1970s. Keyboardist David Paish and drummer Jeff Porcaro were both sons of well-known session musicians whom, while they met attending the same high school, Grant High School, somewhere in LA, I guess, where they formed the band called Rural Still Life, and they would shorten it to Still Life. The band name Toto, apparently, many different, descriptions of where it came, but as the lore goes, the first recording sessions, in order to kind of change or distinguish himself and the demo tapes from the other bands in the studio, Jeff Porcaro supposedly wrote the word Toto on them. And in the early 1980s, band members did say or tell the press that the band was named after Toto, the dog from Wizard of Oz. That's why this misheard lyric makes sense in connection to the scarecrow with no brains. And then after the completion of the first album, the band and record were still unnamed, and so the bassist at that time, David Hungate, after viewing the name of the demo tapes, explained that the group the word in Latin is in toto, T-O-T-O, translation to all encompassing, which makes sense because a lot of these band members that created or formed within Toto were all different band members from different records, different music genres, so it kind of encompassed all. So they adopted the name Toto, but I still believe it's named after the cute little dog. So they were known for their musical style that combines a lot of elements of pop, rock, soul, funk, progressive rock, hard rock, R&B, blues, and jazz. And it's probably because a lot of these musicians that became one as under Toto were again working with different artists. They are known for their top 5 hits, and I remember these songs many times listening, either in the car, on the radio, or in a skate ring near you. Hold the Line, Rosanna, Rosanna, and Africa, what we're going to be talking about today. And the makeup of the group continued to have a revolving door of members coming in and out. And Toto actually reformed and went on to a short European tour with a new lineup to benefit Mike Porcaro, who was diagnosed with ALS and was no longer an active member of the band. He died in 2015, and he's, of course, the brother of the other founding member as well, with the same last name. He actually died supposedly in his sleep on March 15th, 2015. He is again the brother of founding member Steve Porcaro due to complications with ALS in his home in Los Angeles. Now, the song reached #1 on the United States Billboard Hot 100 chart and is the band's only Billboard #1. I'm surprised. I thought the other ones hit #1. The song remained at the top of a single week on February 5th of 1983, so that whole week they stayed #1. Africa also peaked in top 10 in many other countries like United Kingdom, Canada, Ireland, Netherlands, New Zealand, and Switzerland. So they did well other than just the United States. Now, while popular in the 1980s and 1990s, with the song being certified gold by the RIAA, we talked about them in previous episodes. In 1991, Africa saw a resurgence in popularity versus via the social media in the 2000s or mid to late 2010, like I was talking about. And like I said, in any karaoke bar, youngins go crazy when they hear it. It's like, really? All right, okay. And it was fan requested, covered by American rock band Weezer. And I remember there's a lot of fans were asking, "Will you do it?" And they did. And when Weezer recovered it, it peaked at number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100. And again, it's been certified 5 times platinum, so it's still going, even ever since its debut of September 30th, 1982. So what's it all about? So founding member David Paish told Music Radar in 2013, quote unquote, he says, its first inception came when there used to be those UNICEF commercials on TV showing children and families living in poverty. I remember that. I remember Sally Struthers would like, "Can you help feed a child?" And the first time he saw it, it affected him deeply. And so he said, I sat down and started playing, and the chorus just came out like magic. I remember after I'd sung I Bless the Rains Down in Africa, I just stopped and went, wait a minute, I might be a little talented, but I'm not that talented. God's using me for an instrument here. I love this quote. And then he says, I realized I had a song in the making, so I started writing on the Yamaha CS80, which you hear in the intro, that's the keyboard playing, and then you hear a little kalimba sound on the Yamaha GS1 in the chorus. It was a fertile time to make music with new sounds, and that kind of defined the song. So why am I pointing this out is me, as well as many others, thought there was actually flute playing, because flute was really big then. I mean, I think the other song in that same week that had done well was Down Under by Men at Work, and they had some kind of flute in there, and it was in the midsection of the song. Well, rather, it actually was a synth kalimba that they used, made the impression of a flute being played, but a flute was not played. And then, although we find out that it's David Paish that created it, there was another article that I found from a Rolling Stone contributing editor by the name of Rob Sheffield, who titled it "How Toto's Africa Became the New Don't Stop Believing," the new Don't Stop Believing. And he also indicates that it's not a flute. It was done by Steve's synth kalimba, but it really wasn't Steve. It was actually done by the founder, one of the founders, David Paish, who made up that sound. And what gave me the aha moment was when, he said two things. Mr. Sheffield says that this misheard song like that we're talking about today about I left my brains down in Africa was actually also portrayed in author Thomas Pynchon's 2013 novel called Bleeding Edge, where in the novel a crew of startup.com commerce belted out in a New York City karaoke bar on the eve of 9/11, except they think it goes, I left my brains on Africa. So others have thought of it as well. It's now in pop culture. And the second aha moment that Mr. Sheffield quotes is about the video, that he says, quote unquote, the video was mind-blowingly racist, which might be why MTV barely plays it. You'd think or hope the song would have been forgotten by now. So let's talk about the video. So I saw the video just recently. Interesting. So let me set it up for you. So the song was accompanied by this music video that was premiered in 1983 and was directed by a gentleman by the name of Steve Barron, who also worked with Toto with their other song, Rosanna. So the video features Toto the band, not the dog, in a library as they perform and showcase various aspects of African culture atop a stack of giant library books, thanks to green screen. So they're on these books, okay? And band member David Paish plays a researcher who tries to match a scrap of a picture of a shield or of African shield to the book from which it was torn. And then as he's searching through the library, a librarian, beautiful black librarian by the name of Jenny Douglas McRae, Jenny Douglas McRae, who's actually a backup singer for the group at the time, is at a desk nearby, kind of just looking at him once in a while. Well, a native, so this is maybe what Mr. Sheffield's talking about, could be kind of racist, is lurking about in the surrounding jungle to close in on the library. And when the researcher, or in this case David Paish, finds a book titled Africa, the native throws a spear at the bookshelf and the bookshelf falls over. So I'm assuming the band falls over because there must be on those giant books on the bookshelf. And you see the scrap that David Paish was holding matches the torn part of the book. and you see the librarian's eyeglasses fall and a fire starts. It's like, so what is going on here? So lots of chaos. So um, watch the video. I'd love to hear your comments. Send it to us in our email or one of our social media sites, because it was interesting that Mr. Sheffield said, it's like, this is racist. I can't believe they should be playing this. So draw your conclusions. I'd love to hear from you. And then as of just this month, April 2020, the music video on YouTube has hit over 564 million views. So it is still going. It's not stopping. Like he said, what Mr. Sheffield said, it's the new version of Don't Stop Believing. And I say, sing it still wrong if you want. I left my brains down in Africa if you'd like. It's great. But if you have any other great ideas for misheard song lyrics, please send them to our email at misheard, MISSHEARD songs at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if any of these individuals I talk about, specifically contributing editor Mr. Sheffield, hears this or sees this podcast, let us know. We'd love to talk to you as well. So have a great week. Stay safe. Keep your social distance. And we'll talk to you next week with another misheard lyric. Bye. It's from the band Toto and their song Africa.